this on Art Rooney Drive. We welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They love the black and gold here in the Steel City. And a few moments ago, their Steelers emerged from the Heinz Field tunnel. They're set, we're set, as the Steelers are ready to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis, happy to be with you. And Charles, we've got two teams who know each other extremely well. These division games, they tend to be battles.
People scout like crazy in this league, but no one scouts more than within the division. Because if you win your division, you're automatically in the playoffs. That puts extra emphasis on these games, and they can't wait to get at each other.
Here we go from Heinz Field as Chris Boswell tees it up and boots it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. So here come the Browns for their first drive on offense. They're brought out by the #1 overall pick in this year's draft, the Heisman Trophy winner from Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield.
From walking on at two different programs in the Big 12 to a Heisman Trophy winner, Maxwell Award winner, Walter Camp winner, and unanimous All-American, not to mention the #1 overall pick in the NFL. The stars have certainly aligned for Baker Mayfield, but now comes the tough part. Can you get an 0-16 team back to respectability and hopefully in the future to playoff success?
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Now let's go. Blue, landed.
2nd down, Mayfield throws a quick hitter on the slant. That's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. The quick slant, good for 8 and a first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Now let's go. Blue, landed.
A first carry for the rookie Nick Chubb. And able to get a couple as he's across the 40 to the 41. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39. Green.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. And a look at the Steelers' defensive unit.
In today's NFL, you're not just looking for height from your cornerbacks. You're looking for length in order to combat the tall wide receivers that they have to play against each and every week. And Artie Burns has all of that. In addition, he has the ability to change direction and make plays on the football in the air. And finally, he's a willing tackler, which is really key for cornerbacks today.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
From the gun, Mayfield. And he's got his man. That's Landry. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. Baker Mayfield, obviously the #1 pick overall. That was controversial, though. What ultimately made the Browns go in his way?
Well, post-draft, I did hear a Browns executive talk about the efficacy of Baker Mayfield. In other words, how people rally to him, how people respond to him. He talked about seeing him at a workout, how he showed up, yelled out to the other guys. They yelled back with the same response, ran right to him, and they were ready to start the workout. He said things like that and his talent took the balance in his favor to go #1.
And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Here we go. 3-19.
Handoff comes to Chubb. He doesn't find a ton of space following the display of quick feet down just inside the 45. T.J. Watt in on the tackle.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. And some space here. Call it a pickup of 7, and it'll be 4th down. So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. From the right hash, this from 53. And that is no good. He hit it well from distance, but he couldn't work it back in, and this will remain a scoreless game. Well, that opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
The Steelers' offense now, they head back onto the field. So the long field goal misses, and now the reverse. You're in a tough spot defensively. They'll start the drive at the 43. First carry for James Conner, and he'll take this one up close to about the 45. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
On 2nd down, here's Roethlisberger. This is caught by Antonio Brown. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throw throwing now. Roethlisberger on first down. That'll be taken in there by James Washington. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
A first opportunity for the Steelers in the red zone. They have a 1st and 10 at the 18. Roethlisberger will hand to Connor. And he'll take this one down near the 15. Tackle made by Demarius Randall.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On second down, Roethlisberger. This will be caught at about the 5. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
230.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. Defensively, they must have been expecting a pass. They were in the dime look out there.
I think maybe they were deciding to go with speed on the field rather than bulk. I'm with you, a little bit surprising. They wanted people getting to the ball as fast as possible. The lighter, shiftier defensive backs allow you that opportunity.
They'll give it to Ridley. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
From back at the 2, here's 3rd and goal. They'll run at Stephen Ridley. And he's going to go backward. They get him behind the line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
So on 4th down, the Steelers call on the number of Chris Boswell for the field goal try. This, a chip shot, a 20-yarder. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So an opening drive field goal maybe doesn't whip this crowd into a frenzy, but I think that they will take the early lead.
There's no doubt about it. They will always take the early lead, and maybe that celebration comes later if they play well and they can break things open. But right now, this is all about letting the offense just get settled in.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. On the return, Jabril Peppers. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. No, the Cleveland Browns, Charles, it has been a tough season for them so far. Yes, they do have a couple wins, but 2-4-1 and another overtime loss in Week 7. This one at Tampa Bay. It's a team that could realistically have 5 or 6 wins right now.
Yeah, and I think that while they're keeping things competitive, as you mentioned, there could be some good news with that. I like their demeanor. They're not happy about being competitive. They want those wins that you just mentioned that they've let get away. 4th overtime game of the year already. But the good thing is Baker Mayfield is their starting quarterback. 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, a late touchdown to send it to overtime. And then got beat on a 59-yard field goal by Chandler Catanzaro in the final 2 minutes of overtime.
Their 4th overtime game they've had this year. They're 1-3 in those contests. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
All right, here we go. Blue landed.
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon.
Offense.
And that'll set them back 5.
Still 2nd down.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7.
All right, here we go. Blue landed. Blue landed.
Mayfield to throw it. Open receiver, that's David Njoku. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. His first catch, good for 16 and a first. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Now let's go. Green 39.
The first down carry here for Johnson. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. Looking left side, that's caught by Landry. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
It's Connor as they stay on the ground. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
And while they hope to continue this drive, it's really already mission accomplished. They've given enough space now that they have to punt the ball. They've done so with that first run.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
In today's football, where receivers break tackles, make people miss, get upfield for the extra yardage, when you see a play like that where it's caught and he's dropped on the spot, that's a big-time play by the defense.
On third down, that's Connor, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On fourth down, here comes the Steeler punter Jordan Berry to kick it away. Jabril Peppers deep to receive. And taken right at the 35. A big kick, 50 yards that time with a return of 4. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. And hit behind the line. He lost the football. It's loose.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
Now, prior to the snap, we hit all zeros as time has run out on the first quarter of play. 3-0 is our score. More from the Steel City coming up after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is fueled by Gatorade, the sports fuel company.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. They go play action. Mayfield over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Landry. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. And a nice gain of 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And now running right through it. And now they're going to get him down right at the line of scrimmage. Bud Dupree, a former first-round pick, in on the stop. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
Mayfield now on second down. Looking sideline, incomplete. David Njoku was the intended receiver. Third down here.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion. Working out of the gun, Mayfield to the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Following the penalty, Chubb. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 3 yards on the pickup there, but they've only got it back to 3rd and 10.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. The Browns on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. This is caught and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They'll give it to Chubb. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1.
It is definitely hard to find space near the goal line. You always want to have a guy in the game running it who can create his own.
2nd and goal from the 1. They'll run it with Johnson. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he can even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably doing play action since you ran it twice. but I often think that second down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
The Browns on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. Mayfield. And that is, I think he caught it. He did, but they'll say out of bounds. It'll be incomplete. The Steeler defense locked in, forcing an upcoming 4th down.
They converted twice on 3rd down that drive already, but couldn't make it a 3rd. We always talk about in-game adjustments. How about what the defense did there, able to shut them down on that attempt?
And his kick is good. And that will tie us at 3-3. So he gets a shot at atoning for the earlier miss here in the first half and able to knock it through.
And what a relief for him, don't you think? Because how many games have we done where kickers missed one early and never gotten a chance to atone for it the rest of the game? That's a lot to carry around.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means they're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They start with a give to Connor. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll be 3rd down. He came out ready to play. That's 3 tackles for a loss, Charles. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And that's problematic for the guys trying to run offense because that means he's got a pretty good idea of what they're doing and is actually beating them to the point of attack and making those plays. Might have to think about some misdirection or something to try and get him away from the ball.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. It's complete to Brown, right side. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
Partner, I think that completion takes the definition of dink and dunk to a different level, doesn't it?
It does, and the defense was right there, kind of played into their hands. Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll punt it away for the... Here comes the pressure, and the Browns block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. Now, so much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
Heading out as the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe bashed it.
that. Super try.
A give. This is Chubb. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Throwing, Mayfield. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. They're looking at 3rd in the nose of the football.
Here we go now. 3-19.
Now Mayfield. And that is incomplete.
These guys had to settle for a field goal their last time moving the ball down the field. They may have to do it again on this drive. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but at least they were able to get 3 last time. 3 here, not the worst thing in the world. So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. And his kick is right there. It's good. And they will take the lead here in this battle of field goals at 6-3. So we're trading first-half field goals. No breakthrough on the touchdown front. We got a 6-3 game.
Yeah, and I know so many people look at a game through offensive eyes, right? They want to see how the game's played that way. You know how I'm going to view it, right? The defenses, to me, have responded well in this game. Like what I'm seeing from them, both of them hoping to keep it to field goals and not give up big touchdowns.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. Oh, he shifts past him. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up more, try and loosen things up. Get the defense to react to other people, other plays, but don't forget about it. That's your horse. You know, Secretariat lost twice in his career.
So educational. That's very true, kids. Look it up. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. The drive will start with Connor. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Right off the bat, it's a 1st down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Set. Blue 30.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Tackle made there by Jabril Peppers.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Joe Schobert, tough to handle on that blitz. He gets him for a loss of 5.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
And definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very difficult for them throughout the half.
Here's Jordan Berry now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Taken in at the 11. A big boot that time. 57 yards the official distance. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Jarvis Landry and company heading back onto the field now. He's doing what he's capable of, having a solid game. Not the most amazing game. He's not over 100 yards, but a good game so far.
And you just know that mentally, he feels like he's one catch away from turning it into a great game and starting on that road. And the defenders are well aware of that, too. They've got to figure out a way to not let that escalate. Keep him right in this zone here and call it a day, because otherwise he can really decimate them.
Better believe they are well aware of his playmaking ability. They begin this drive with Chubb, and he'll take this up only to about his 18-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Here we go now.
Mayfield now. Throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Just what the Browns needed there. Good for a gain of 17.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb, and unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends, they're usually big people, because they're going to have to eat up a lot of blockers, because it's usually 5-on-3. And when they do their job well, guys who play on the inside, those inside linebackers, they're able to just roam and hit.
To throw, Mayfield. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking to get it to Jarvis Landry that time. And it's 3rd down.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
After an incomplete pass on second down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Here's Mayfield. He's got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. The Browns' passing game finding its stride. They've got another first down. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down.
All right, here we go.
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense.
I know it's an emotional game, Charles. You can't do that.
And when you get into your film sessions and you argue your case with your coaches, that's exactly what they say at the end. You just can't do it. It costs your team.
Now they return to the ground game. Chubb. And he's going to work this one down to about the 5.
The Browns opted not to pick a running back with their first 2 selections at number 1 and 4 in the first round. But they circled back in the second round and got a really good one to Nick Chubb out of Georgia. Broke off a nice run there, and that's where he's good. Good vision, able to see where the hole is, and make nice gains each time he touches the ball.
Second down, Mayfield. To the sideline, and oh, that's well done. Able to drag the feet. He's going to have the first down. 4 yards on the play, and that leads to the 1st and goal. Great footwork there, Charles, to dot the I, stay in bounds, get both feet in. He's probably thinking, though, man, I made a catch like that close to the end zone. I should have scored.
Yeah, there's always a regret when you're that close to the goal line. But let's go back to what you talked about before, getting his feet down. Would you say dotting the I? I can cross the T as well. That was excellent footwork to get in bounds and make a great catch.
2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll take you to Orlando and Jonathan Coachman. Coach will have highlights and analysis of this first half, one that's featured no touchdowns as of yet on either side.
So his job's a little bit easier for this halftime report.
Need to give the coach some highlights here.
Yes, we do.
3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here.
Here we go now. Boom, landed.
From the gun, Mayfield. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, surprise, surprise. 1st and goal at the 1. No quarterback sneak. No running play. They decided to throw for it, but the pressure got to him quickly and put the quarterback down.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Mayfield looks to throw. And that's incomplete. Johnson, the intended target, and that'll make it third down.
Certainly looked like maybe his third or his fourth read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
A third field goal in the first half, not what they're looking for as they come up on third down.
Here we go. Green, 39.
Now Mayfield on third and goal. The quick slant caught. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jarvis Landry from 10 yards out. And the Browns add on to their lead.
I wonder if he changed anything on his play sheet or they just executed better. Because they had two previous drives that ended in field goals. Before this one, they finally were able to put into the end zone.
Well, whatever he did, speaking of the offensive coordinator, might be using that formula going forward. It worked there.
Yeah, it worked very well. He and his field general in pretty good sync right now. They're starting to move the ball well.
No problem there on the extra point. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. A 10-play drive that time. And it ends with a touchdown for Cleveland. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Here comes Ryan Switzer to return it. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. And now out come the Steelers. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Ready? Black 80.
Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. And yes, complete to the tight end, McDonald. That throw good for 4. It's second down. Now the Steelers hustling up to the line of scrimmage. On second down, Roethlisberger. And McDonald here over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with a tick under a minute to go before half. And we're back. The offense had a chance to talk things over. We'll see what they come up with here on this next play. They'll run it now out of the gun. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So we're back in the offense getting set following the call of that timeout. On second down, here's Roethlisberger. Wide open receiver, complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. It's a Pittsburgh first down, a gain of 13. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Throw left side, complete to Smith-Schuster. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. A gain of 6 there on first. Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Ready? Blue 30.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he's going to go down. They get to it back at the 40. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout. And now they get set to line up as we resume action. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome everyone to this abridged version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. We want to remind you that new this year in regular season games, I'll take you around the NFL and give you stats and scores from games in progress, as well as look back at games that have already been completed. So keep an eye out for that, but for now, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the third quarter. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. They go play action here on first down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's James. And they'll bring him down at the 27-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Now that second down run, a big help as 7 yards leaves them with just a 3rd and 3 now. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, Makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
4 down. Set. Blue 30.
On third down, it's Connor, and he's going to have the first down at about the 38. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
There are a lot of different formulas to winning football, but one constant over the years, winning on third down. That pickup there was big because they had struggled throughout this one.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Like 80.
Now Roethlisberger on first down. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down. Well, we got a second here, Charles. Let's look back to some of those crazy finishes in Week 7 of the NFL last week. I mean, it seemed like every game had a wild finish.
It certainly did. Dallas, Washington, Brett Maher off the upright from 52 yards following a questionable penalty against his long snapper that moved the ball back 5 yards. How about Cleveland, Tampa Bay? Cleveland claws his way back in, and then Tampa Bay wins the ball game with Chandler Catanzaro kicking the big field goal from 59 yards in overtime. Remember, he missed a 40-yarder in regulation. Justin Tucker missed an extra point. That's the headlines in and of itself. His first miss in the NFL. And New Orleans gets away with a victory. And New England, Chicago. Chicago throws the Hail Mary at the end of the game. Kevin White, 54 yards. He needed 55.
Yeah.
Stopped at the 1 yard.
I don't think I've ever seen a Hail Mary come that close but not get in. They'll run with Ridley. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
Blue 30.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, complete. It's McDonald. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A Steeler 1st down on the pickup of 11 yards. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Let's go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Brandon, we're into the 2nd half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
That loss of 3, a rare stumble on a promising drive. Here's 2nd and 13. Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
And on this challenge, the refs have to take a peek and see whether or not the receiver was able to dot the I with both feet,
while making sure that he possesses the football all the way through the catch.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The head coach relied on his eagle eye in the sky to make the right call and was told to challenge it, and it looks like it's paid off.
And from a coach's standpoint, when you throw that flag, it's probably a pretty tense moment. Here it pays off.
Yeah, you have that little bit of indecision. You throw it where you feel like you're right, and then you think, uh-oh, did I get it right? In this case, they can celebrate.
Now Ben on third and long. A quick hitter complete. It's Washington. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And Boswell's kick is good. And they will cut the lead back down to a touchdown now at 13-6. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle. Right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? Just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. To return, it's Peppers. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. A chance for us here to discuss Jarvis Landry. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
Now let's go. 3-19.
Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. A gain of 3, second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
Mayfield now on second down. That's complete over the middle to Callaway. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. The Browns on third down. 5 out of 9 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This is taken at about the 14. Oh, look at the juke.
Illegal block in the back. Return team.
And that negates a pretty decent punt return.
And the goal is to gain a 1st down on the punt return, which is 10 yards. This was much more than that, but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Larry Ogunjobi there to make the tackle.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And he'll score. Touchdown, Browns.
Well, partner, I do know this. If you're a defensive back, you have more chances to make a team now than ever because people are using 5 defensive backs, 6 defensive back packages. Not exclusively, but way more than before. That was a nickel package there, and what a pickoff.
Why is that? Why are they using that more?
Because more people are throwing the ball on earlier downs than ever before. This has become a passing league, and because of that, more defensive backs on the field on most plays.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick 6. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They run with Connor, and he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Here's Roethlisberger. Man open left side is Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It'll be a gain of 17 and a Pittsburgh first. Roethlisberger now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Connor. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Again, it's Connor. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down.
The best offenses and the ones that win are ones that make adjustments. And right now, I think this team needs to open things up.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. He gets it to Brown, complete. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
From midfield now, here's Roethlisberger. Incomplete. James Conner, the running back, his intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. But not to get too overcritical there because he knows what he's doing, but his shoulders looked a little off kilter there when he threw that.
I don't think you're being overly critical there. You're just analyzing it, and he gets those shoulders right. That pass will go from incomplete to complete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Throw left side, complete. That's Brown. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Roethlisberger hooking up with Brown to get the Steelers at first.
And there's a man they call AB, always a volume receiver. He gobbles up catches. Holds the number 2 and number 4 spots for most receptions in a season in NFL history. And in 2015, just 7 catches shy of setting the single-season mark for most receptions, currently held by Marvin Harrison, a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he had 136 catches that year on the heels of 129 the season before. They'll run it now out of the gun. A nice move he had, but can't break away. And he's brought down just inside the 30. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now it's counter. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on second down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They go play action with Roethlisberger. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Myles Garrett coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be fourth down. The #1 pick a season ago, proving his worth.
7 sacks in 11 games as a rookie. Didn't play the full year due to some injuries, but he's going to be the face of the franchise on the defensive side of the ball. Myles Garrett, he fills up your screen when he's rushing the passer.
Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. This from 54 yards away. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. So another long try for 3 and another kick that comes up lacking.
Yeah, this isn't going to do any wonders for his field goal percentage, but you have to figure as a head coach that when you send a guy out there to try and kick from that distance, it's a 50-50 proposition at best.
The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
Hurry up, here we go. Blue, landed.
And now Mayfield on the bootleg. And his throw is incomplete. He was trying to get it to his tight end, David Njoku. That'll bring up second down. Well, we got a second here. Let's take a peek around the league. What's coming up week 8? A couple big games as we near the halfway point of the season, Charles. I'm mainly looking at Philly and Jacksonville and London, and then New Orleans and Minnesota. That should be interesting.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Philly and Jacksonville, both teams struggling right now. The Eagles have already lost 4 games. They lost 3 all of last season. Both of those teams need a win in a big way. New Orleans at Minnesota, the Saints are on a heck of a roll right now. They've won 5 in a row. But the Vikings quietly have won 3 straight and seem to be getting their footing on defense again. And how about Green Bay? They had the week off this past week. Big win over San Francisco at home on a Monday night. They now head out to face the 7-0 Rams in Los Angeles. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that one. That is a big one indeed.
Aaron Rodgers, Todd Gurley, let's do this.
The last catch nearly got him a first, but it did not, and they'll try to convert on 3rd and inches. Mayfield to throw it. Pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Stephon Tuitt in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
Like how they've started the 3rd quarter here. They force a punt on the first drive, and after this sack, it looks like they'll be forcing another one as well.
Absolutely. Maybe got their 2nd win coming out of the locker room. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at the 20. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Looking for his running back, and he's got it. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, a 22. Fourth quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the second touchdown. You got the first one for the second one to even matter.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Open man, completes it to Smith-Schuster. A good cover defensively as they get to him just beyond the 45 after the juke. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on 1st down.
Blue 30.
Now Roethlisberger. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5.
Blue 30.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. But it's brought in by Washington. The time to pull out the stops is now, and they convert there on 4th down.
Every play is supposed to get a player's best effort. But on 4th down, that really increases the stakes, doesn't it? What about that catch?
Heck of an effort, picking up the first.
And now that team has to be motivated going forward. They just saw a great effort there. They want to make sure it pays off.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on 1st down. And the Browns' pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Now Roethlisberger to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Give him 3 on the screen. He couldn't break free, and it's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The Steelers on 3rd down. Just 1 conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 17.
Blue 30.
Here's Roethlisberger. The pass complete to Justin Hunter. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. And a two-score game, obviously, every play, every third down, like we saw there, magnified, big pickup.
It was a huge pickup. What they really want, though, is to not even get to third down. They've got to maximize time and conserve as much as possible.
Three red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on second and goal here. Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved.
False start, offense.
Now that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves them back 5. That false start knocks them back behind the 10 now as they'll try again, first and goal. Here's counter. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up second and goal.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
Now it's Roethlisberger. Open man right side is Smith-Schuster, complete. The catch good for 6 yards, but now it's third and goal. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection. You got to think this is likely 4-down territory anyway, but they'll try to punch it in now on third and goal. Now Roethlisberger. And this is going to be incomplete. Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires. We talk about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. And Boswell's kick is good. And that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. That drive took him inside to 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3. Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field. After the successful field goal try, here's Boswell to send it away. To return, it's Peppers. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. And the Browns getting set to go. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now. They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but the other team doesn't get it. That's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Second down, Mayfield. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Big yardage there for the Browns, 18.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
They run, Chubb, and he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now a 2nd down throw for Mayfield. Underneath for Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down. Boy, the evolution of the game and how these guys in plays like that can get out of the pocket, keep plays alive, it just makes things so much harder for defenses.
It really does, and we're talking about an era in the game where the quarterbacks are the most athletically gifted that we've seen in a bunch. I mean, when you talk about collectively, it's unbelievable. So their ability to move is practiced now. It's not necessarily, oh, he just took off and you guys figure it out. When he takes off, everyone knows where to go now. They know how to run routes, change things, make themselves presentable for the quarterback. It's a lot of time that they put in on it. It's not just your static 1, 2, 3, this is where the ball goes anymore.
This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
Here's Mayfield. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. Javon Hargrave with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to have to put a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down.
Hurry up, here we go. 3:19.
To throw, Mayfield. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And Owen coughed it up, and it looks like Steeler football. It is.
Partner, that one looked like it was over. I mean, they had control, had the football, and the defense had to make a play in order to keep them in the game. That's exactly what they did.
And now that door ajar, 2-score game, so hold on here, not done in the 4th. And the Steelers set to take the field. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder. It puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Big Ben and the Steelers with a 1st and 10 at their own 43.
Like 30.
Following the fumble recovery, it's Roethlisberger toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, hauled in by Smith-Schuster. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Roethlisberger looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Brown. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. The quick slant, good for 8 and a 1st. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. You're down 2 scores. I don't think you need to rush just yet, but you can't take your time either.
Yeah, even if you don't want to commit to full 2-minute offense, you have to up the tempo, up the urgency. Maybe you're starting to call 2 plays in a huddle each time you snap the ball.
Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Juju Smith-Schuster, the intended receiver that time. And it's 2nd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Ben to throw again. Washington with a catch, middle of the field. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. I guess they're in a situation now, 4th quarter, where they're forced to take some chances, but I don't know that that was the type of a chance you want to take.
And that one could very easily have been intercepted. And if it does get picked off, that could possibly seal this one.
So they'll turn to the kicker again. He's been a busy man thus far. On the left hash, officially, it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this is off the left upright. And it comes back. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Here we go now.
Chubb on the counter, and the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all three still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12. And again, it's Chubb. He'll get about 3 as he's brought down right around the 42.
And this is an absolutely big 3rd down that's been set up here, partner, and there's no other way to put it. The defense has to get a stop here if they have any hopes of winning this game.
Has to. You said big 3rd down. I'd put the word big in capital letters here.
The Steelers insert their nickel defense on 3rd down.
Yeah, they add a DB. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. This is a big 3rd down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here.
Set. 3-19. 3-19.
On 3rd down, it's Nick Chubb, and he will be brought down at about the 43 that time. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Cleveland. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. And McDonald here over the middle. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now
down.
your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. They'll throw on 1st down with Roethlisberger. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10.
Set! Blue 30!
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Throwing again, it's Roethlisberger. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
So now here comes the field goal unit again, and this phase of the game has been an absolute disaster so far. From the right hash, this from 53. And Boswell's kick is good. And that'll make this an 8-point game. Well, that's one part of the equation. Puts them back within 1 score, but I'd be surprised if we don't see an onside kick coming up.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, partner. They've still got the 2 timeouts. But without that 3rd one, they can bleed a lot more clock on you. So how confident are you that the defense can hold them deep? I think you're exactly right. I'd line up with play for the onside kick here.
So with just over a minute to play, this becomes a make-or-break onside kick. And the Browns are able to cover this one up. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Here we go. Green 39.
Chubb. And he's going to be met at about the 43. And the Steelers signal for another timeout as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here.
Set. 3-19.
They run it again with Chubb. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here, as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. That's running out of steam, and it won't get there. He left it just short, no good, and this score will stay right where it is. All right, so then instead of a 2-score lead in the waning moments, that miss means they're going to need to sweat this one out after all, partner.
Nothing comes easy in this league. That could turn out to be a miss of disastrous proportions. So now they need to call on their defense one last time to bail them out.
So good field position for the Steelers as they come up 1st and 10. Back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, 2nd down. One final shot now. I'm not even sure he can get it to the end zone, though, from this distance.
That's going to take as much arm as he has, and you actually have to plan for the contingency. Maybe you're playing a tip. Try and get someone down who can tip it up and keep it for your own team and try and get to the end zone that way.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. One last shot for Roethlisberger. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Travis Carey. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Well, we were on hand for a fun and entertaining game here, coming down really to that last play. Great job defensively to get the pick and seal it. And we know that every play during a game matters. You're never sure which one's going to be one of the key ones. But at the end of the game, when you analyze it, 3, 4, 5 plays are going to be the ones you focus on. And that last play was one of them. The last shot had to take it, and they came up with the interception and sealed their victory. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we sign off from Heinz Field.